This is a very interesting gospel because it tells us a lot about human nature, and probably it tells us a lot about ourselves. When somebody tells us something that we don't want to hear, oftentimes we might have the expression, and basically this is what the scribes and Pharisees are saying to Jesus: who the you think you are? Who are you to tell me what to do? Who are you to tell me what is right and what is wrong? Now, in this scripture passage, we're finding out very, very clearly that Jesus does have the authority to speak regarding what is right and what is wrong. How do we see this? First of all, the response of those who were sent to arrest Jesus. You know, have you brought him to us? No, we haven't. Why not? Well, the reason why not is because nobody's ever spoken like this before. And we hear he speaks with authority. He speaks with authority. It's a very important term, authority. We're going to expand upon that just a little bit. But authority basically means that this person has integrity. Integrity. In other words, what he says and what he does are one and the same. And so if you look at the ministry of Jesus, Jesus does what he says he's going to do. And so we have examples of that certainly in the miracles. Certainly in the miracles. We also see that Jesus speaks with authority on the related portions of the Old Testament. He is the one who interprets them. He is the ultimate authority as to what God's message is. And so, right at the beginning of this gospel passage, this is truly the prophet that's to come at the end of time. Others said, this is the Christ. And that basically tells us where his authority comes from. He's the prophet. He is the Christ, the one who comes to save his people. As a matter of fact, the name Jesus itself is from Yeshua, and Yeshua means he who saves, the one who saves. And so that's where Jesus gets his authority from. He is, in fact, God himself speaking to his people. That's why he is so threatening to the religious authorities of his day, because he certainly supersedes anything that they have said, certainly what they have taught, and also what they've done. All right. Now, what about authority? Where does it come from? Well, all authority comes from God. All authority comes from God. And you perhaps remember in history that people oftentimes thought that the authority of kings and rulers came directly from God, and they used to call it the divine right of kings. Well, yes and no, because the authority of God rests with God's people. The authority of God rests with God's people in our modern world, and especially in a democratic society. And so where do those people who are in power receive their authority? They receive it from the people who elect them. And then those in authority are called to lead the people. They are called to give the people what the people voted for, but they are also called to act in a way that lets people know that they are using wise judgment. And of course, in our society, a wise judgment is going to be based on what? What are the laws of the country? Because we are a country of law. The rule of law prevails. So a leader cannot break the rules of law, certainly whether the law comes from the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, and other laws that were justly enacted over the time since the Revolution and since the establishment of our government under the Constitution. Now, yesterday I talked to you about the Collier County Board of Commissioners meeting to enact emergency legislation. And I urged you to get in touch with your county commissioners and to tell them that there were some concerns that we have. Well, you might have used my name. Father ORSI has concerns. But of course, the issue is much bigger than Father ORSI, okay? But there are things that we have to point out as people who are in leadership positions, that we have to inform you that there are things that we have to be careful about and that our elected representatives have to know so that they can make good judgments and that they must know that they are representing us. Now, two of those issues. One of those issues had to do with our liberty. Our liberty. For instance, the liberty of being able to leave our homes. Okay? People often take that for granted, but we're not under house arrest, and we have to be able to leave our homes. And I said, for some very, very simple reasons. Number one, okay, we have a right to leave our home, but also because if we don't leave our homes, for many of us, there's a deprivation of sunlight and fresh air. It leads to drinking, drugs. It also leads to depression. It also leads to suicide. And now I'm hearing about domestic violence. So, as I said to you before, sometimes the cure can be worse than the disease. And so people communicated that yesterday at the meeting. And I want to give kudos to our state representative, Byron Donalds. He spoke eloquently about being careful not to abuse the Constitution. So once again, Byron, one of our representatives, did a good job in presenting our concerns. And I believe the commissioners heard those concerns. Secondly, a major concern for me regarding the life issues had to do with the emergency actions wanting to close down businesses that were not essential. Well, who decides what's essential and what is not essential? But one of the things that was placed in one of the categories of essential was reproductive rights. And basically that meant Planned Parenthood should stay open because it is vital to the health of the community. Now, that is absolute nonsense. As I said to you yesterday, it's impossible that abortion is vital to the health and well-being of a community. And certainly it's not for the well-being of the innocent child that is being aborted. But one of the people who spoke yesterday before the commission was a woman named Crystal Gabbard. And Crystal spoke eloquently about not considering Planned Parenthood to be a vital service. And of course, the danger with saying that it is a vital service is that even after this crisis comes to an end, and ladies and gentlemen, it will eventually come to an end, we have to make sure that in the psyche of the people of our county and the people of our nation, that we cannot consider Planned Parenthood and abortion to be vital to the health and welfare of our nation. So kudos to Crystal too. Today, I would like you to take some time to meditate on Jesus' authority. And he is the ultimate authority. He is, we call him Christ the King. And it's his law that must inform the people. And we are God's people. We have to make sure that our elected representatives are hearing our concerns and that they are also sensitive to what God's law is and to what the laws of the nation are insofar as they are given to us in the Constitution. Continue to keep in touch with your county commissioners. Ours here in District 5 is Bill McDaniel. Please let Mr. McDaniel know our concerns so that if and when the commission meets again, we will have a step ahead in order to make sure that proper rules and regulations are enacted for our safety. God love you.